Good evening, everybody. First of all, I send my apologies to everyone. A delayed start tonight. I've missed pretty much all the qualifying due to running a little bit late. So first of all, my apologies for that. Thursday night racing is here once again. It comes round very quickly, doesn't it? We are back for some more Cone Racing League Thursday night action. Tier 2, this is the place to be on a Thursday evening. It is your boy Hedgehog 11 on comms again for round number 12 of this season 7 Cone Racing League season here in Tier 2. A little bit against the clock tonight due to the late start. Once again, I send my apologies for that. I'll run through last week's race results in Australia, where that leaves us in terms of the drivers and the constructors standings, and a little bit of education as well before the race start. But let's just watch the end of the qualifying session. 19 drivers on the grid tonight, which is once again a fantastic turnout. Plenty of DNFs on track. Again, a lot of them will be in the pits now due to the qualifying session coming to an end. But if you are joining the stream, make sure you say hello in the chat. Hashtag follow the code and welcome back once more to the stream. Only 4 rounds to go now in this season. Round 12 of 15 tonight in Abu Dhabi. We are really coming towards the business end of this season now, where the championship can be and will be won or lost. We'll go through, as mentioned, the drivers' standings, the constructors' standings, and last week's race results in a little while. Before the race start, I'll also give you a bit of background information on Abu Dhabi. But finally, I want to apologise once more for the late start. It won't happen again. I do apologise. Last week went to Australia. It was a bit of a chaotic one. There was a lot of songs, a lot of music being played. I think I got a little bit carried away last week in terms of the music. So that won't be happening again. I want to send my apologies for that. I did feel like I did genuinely feel like I let myself down last week on commentary. It got a little bit silly, and I tried being fun, but a little bit too much fun last week. So I did get a little bit carried away, and I want to send my apologies for that. This week I'll try and be, as structured as possible. Know that we'll get carried away as usual, but as long as I can entertain you guys, that's the main thing. But it's down to these boys on track. Without these boys, there'd be no Thursday night stream, there'd be no Tier 2, there'd be no Cone Racing League, and there'd be no Hedgehog 11 on commentary. So the qualifying session has come to an end, and it's Farrell who's got pole for tonight at 1:20. A very respectful type of driver that is really starting to improve, especially in qualifying. Liam qualifying 4th. Last week changed results in Abu Dhabi. It was a win for Carl, a fantastic performance from Carl, dominant performance from Carl in the AlphaTauri. He got the win. The Roy and Cole Paradox completed the podium. Does Jonathan not do commentary anymore? Not at the moment, mate. No, he's put it on hold for now. So it'll just be me on my own, my lonesome. Probably now, I'd imagine, for the remainder of this season. Maybe we'll get a guest in for the final race. I'm not too sure, but I'd imagine now it'll just be me, myself, and I. It's just me, myself, and I. Solo ride. Yeah, you know that one, yeah. I can sing some. I can't play them, but I can sing them. So there you go. Farrell on pole. Tobes, Nick, Liam in the top 4. Jet. The Roy, Hobbsy, DC McConey, Freefall, Carl and Cole Paradox. That is in terms of the the point finishes there within the race. Of course, top 12 get points in the race. 4-star Clip Yard. Knowsley, little one. Bunnies, Bugs Bunnies, Ennis and Gio Sheen. So yeah, as mentioned last week, Carl with a win. The Roy and Cole Paradox completing the podium. There was points for Captain Nick, just mentioning then as well. He scored 17 points last week, Captain Nick. Just missed out on a podium in P4. Will he get that podium tonight? Jet, Knowsley, Hobbsy, 4-star DC, Clerpiard, Liam only getting 2 points, McConey only getting 1. So with Liam and McConey getting very low points last week and Cole Paradox getting a podium, it has certainly spiced the championship up with 4 rounds to go, including tonight. Freefall, Ennis, Little One, KXI, Strauss and Morts ended the night with nothing. And this is your driver's standings, and it has changed a lot, and it's looking very, very spicy indeed. Somebody let me know you can hear me okay on the stream, that I sound crystal clear. That'd be fantastic. But here is your driver standings in Tier 2 ahead of tonight's round 12 race in Abu Dhabi. Liam still leads the way, but that gap at the top that was 26 points last week, I believe, cut down now to just 6 points. He leads on 142 championship points, but only 6 points clear now of last week's P3 Cole Paradox, a former Tier 3 champion looking to go one better this year and become a Tier 2 champion. He's now on 136 points, only 6 points behind Liam in the title race. Carl have put together a couple of lovely results. He won in Singapore, he won in Australia. He all of a sudden is springing a late title charge. He's back into the mix, 3rd in the championship on 124 points. Only 18 behind Liam. 18's not a lot, that can change in one night. So Carl, very much in the championship race, a man that's in form. DC's moved up to 4th in the championship. He's on 102, so he sits 40 points behind Liam. Not out of the championship, but 40 points is quite a big gap with only 4 races to go. You'd feel Dan would really need to get a win tonight to sort of keep his hopes alive of the championship. Then comes Jet, 4-star Hobbsy, and McConey down in 8th. He's really dropped off, McConey. I'd say this time probably 3-4 weeks ago. We're looking at McConey, he's the firm championship favourite, but unfortunately for him, a couple of tough results has knocked him down the pedal into 8th to Roy and Farrell. Farrell on pole tonight, of course, completing your top 10 in the championship. So, where it's at in terms of the title, I don't want to rule Dan out, but 40 points is quite a big gap. I'd say it's a 3-horse race predominantly between Liam, Cole Paradox and Carl now. It was a 3-horse race the majority of last season, wasn't it? With the likes of Cal Cohen, DC and Nelu Saffron. We're going a similar trend again here. Liam's led for a number of weeks, but has had a couple of tough results, especially last week in Australia. That's allowed Cole Paradox and Carl, who both got podium last week to close that gap. In terms of quality, Liam is 4th tonight. Carl down in 11th, Cole Paradox 12th. So Liam getting the better of his 2 rivals within the qualifying session. Liam on mediums, Carl on mediums, and right behind Carl is his championship rival Cole Paradox on hards. They will be the 3 drivers, and we keep a close eye out on tonight in terms of the championship battle. Quick run through the constructor standings. Ferrari do lead the way. They seem to have just pulled away from AlphaTauri at the moment. It realistically looks like a 2-horse race now. In Alpine are not out of the running, but they've got a big distance towards Ferrari. Alpine 3rd, Red Bull, McLaren, Williams, Mercedes, Alfa Romeo, Haas and Aston Martin sit bottom of the pile in terms of the constructor standings. Quick look at the last time visiting Abu Dhabi in CRL in Tier 2. Last season, Season 6, it was a race won by Carl Cohen with DC on the podium that night. And a reserve of Ruff the next day also on the podium. Obviously getting a good result in P5. 4-star and Claire PR also in the top 10. So these boys are not unfamiliar with this circuit, that's for sure. Quick fast facts before we get going in Abu Dhabi. A race first held in 2009, the Yas Marina circuit, a track length of 5.2 kilometres, race distance of 306 kilometres, 58 laps in real life, of course, 29 for tonight. A new format this year in Sector 1, and the race lap record is held by Max Verstappen, who of course won the championship here last year. Or Carl could really stamp their authority on this title come the end of this race. Here we go then, round 12, Tier 2, Season 7 in Abu Dhabi. There's 4 rounds to go, a 3-horse race for the title. We're in Abu Dhabi, a 16-turn circuit, 2 DRS detection zones, 19 drivers on track, 29 laps ahead of the drivers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 laps ahead of the drivers. And we're underway for the Tier 2 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix here at the Yas Marina circuit. It's only a short run down to turn 1. A left-hander and his contact already. Minimal contact between, I think it was the Roy and Hobbsy. Hobbsy jumping a position there, gaining a position, the McLaren. On the Williams drive, looks like it was got away cleanly or not actually. Close back, Clippier, and a big impact, a big crash, and Jet is in the wall and out of the race. A huge impact, and it's a lap 1 VSC. That was a huge collision, and already, as you'd expect, and we've come to know now in Tier 2, drama upon drama on lap 1, and Jet, who qualified so strongly in the top 6, a huge impact. I'm not too familiar who the driver was who made that impact with, but into the barrier Jet goes, and at that speed he didn't stand a chance. He's completely out of this race. Jet qualifying a very strong P5 tonight, put together some real good results this season. But his race is over. It's a VSC. Hobbsy, the only driver in the top 6 to gain position. A good start from the McLaren driver, but a lot of heartbreak for Jet. Captain Nick found himself in an early podium position, P4 last week in Australia. Agonisingly close to a podium last week. As it stands, he's in that podium place. But with green light racing again, underway, and Liam there, having a look at Captain Nick, who was caught sleeping. Both his drivers on the medium zip for now, holding off the championship leader Liam, who's got a big job tonight. A poor result last week for Liam. P11 in Australia, only 2 points gained. That allowed Carl and Cole Paradox to gain. Carl up 1, Frank's down 1, so a tough start from McLaren. Speaking of McLaren, obviously a good start, up 2 into that top 5. Little One up 9 already. What a start on the mediums for the Fry of Little One. It was a chaotic lap 1. We now enter lap 2 again, a short run down to the first corner. We've seen a lot of chaos here in this first sector on the first lap. Will Lightning strike twice? We will find out. It's a very tough one. If you touch that curve and lose the car, you're in big trouble. Little One, the biggest winner so far, up 9. It is a stonking start to this Grand Prix. for the Ferrari driver. A very experienced driver, won many races and sat on the podium many times in this league in the past. His early pit stops for Knowsley and for Clerky, but he got a feel for Jet there, punted into a wall. Again, I wasn't familiar who that driver was, but put him into a wall. But again, at that speed, he just didn't stand a chance in terms of surviving that impact. DC making with McConey. McConey back on the inside to get past DC, and DC on the mediums, getting past McConey, who's also on the mediums. A good start for Carl, up one. A winner last week has put him into third in the championship. Can he make a move on McConey here? Carl jumps to try and climb the grid. Carl v McConey, two drivers that have had very good successes in this league. Both drivers have won races in this league this season. Carl's going round the outside, and a lovely move from last week's race with a yellow flag. Little while, I cursed him. Up 9 places, now all the way down to the bottom again. Was it an impact with Bunnies, I wonder? No, it wasn't. Apologies to Bunnies, actually. I don't think he was involved in that. But all of Little One's hard work to gain 9 places. He's now back down into 16th place. Towards the front, Farrell still leads from Tobe, from Nick. He's had a wobble there, and that wobble is going to cost him up the third. It's going to cost him 4th as well. Nick with a wobble there, going from third. He's going to try and get back on Hobbsy, but Hobbsy will get that move done. Yellow flag, Little One's gone again, so it's heartbreak after such a promising, superb first lap for Little One, but a little mistake there from Captain Nick, costing 2 places from third to 5th, and Roy now as well. Also a podium sitter, last time out in Melbourne, on the back of the Haas driver, of course. CRC now unable to Little One give up in the pits with 2 retirements in 3 laps here. Little One going from joy to frustration, up 9 places at the end of lap 1 and at the end of lap 2 in the pits, retiring from the race. And Captain Nick get the place back on Hobbsy after losing it. Nick on the inside of Hobbsy. Jerome might have a look on Hobbsy as well. A little bit of contact between the Haas and the McLaren there. A lovely little battle here as well, and DC coming into play as well. So all 4 of these drivers on the medium tyre, and Hobbsy could be under pressure here and could lose a spot to DeRoy. Could DeRoy have a look on Nick as well? He might do DeRoy. He doesn't. DeRoy goes wider, and Hobbsy getting the inside line. Can he force him a battle? Turn ball with DC. As watch the battle here. DC's teammate in a battle with Hobbsy, and Hobbsy's lost that pitch to Hobbsy in a state of the 2 corners there. Gone from 4th down to 6th. The yellow flag on track is the other Ferrari, I think. They've already lost 1 Ferrari. Or is it Little One's car to come back out on track? I think it is actually. There's only 1 Ferrari on track tonight, looking at it. Nonetheless, as you'd expect, chaos at the start of the race. Yellow flag again. It's Gio Sheen who's gone for a spin. He's off the track on to lap number 4. We've already lost 2 drivers, already out of the SC. It's been chaos here. Round number 12 of season 2. Of season 7 in tier 2. Yas Marina 30th, Abu Dhabi. One of only 4 rounds remaining now in the championship. The 3 championship favourites coming into tonight as Free Fog off the track. Where Liam currently in 3rd, Carl currently in 8th, and Cole Paradox, who started 12th, still in 12th. So as it stands, Liam will extend his lead at the top of the championship. Gio Sheen again, spinning around out of his way. And they change the race lead for the first time as Tobes gets past Farrell. Farrell's 4-lap race lead is over as the Alfa Male gets to DRS and gets past in mediums versus hards. Of course, it's a medium hard or a hard medium around here. Tobes going for the mediums. Farrell going for the hards. Let's get the tyres on point so you can see them. Farrell, to be fair, the only driver other than Ennick in the top 10 on the hard tyre. Hobbsy, after promising start to the race, losing a few positions here, and I think he's also done what he has. Hobbsy down to 7th now. And last week's race for the Carl, almost seeing what Hobbsy has to do. Hobbsy could be in trouble here, and all of a sudden now Hobbsy after being up into P4, now down in 7th, and has got Carl and McConey to company as well. So an interesting start. Hobbsy's certainly been in the thick of it in this race. I want to thank Hobbsy, by the way, for helping engineer me here on Monday to get me a points. It could be a huge incident in the championship. It's a spin and a 5-second penalty for the man who currently sits 2nd in the championship. Does 6 points separating Liam in the Mercedes and Cole Paradox in the McLaren coming into tonight's race. But Cole Paradox had a spin and has had a really disappointing and difficult start to this race. How could that cost him? We will see. Gio Sheen's not forgetting, he's miles behind now, isn't he? Gio Sheen towards front, lap 5, Tobes, Farrell, Liam, Nick, DeRoy, DC, Hobbsy and Carl. Could Hobbsy was another place position here. So last week's race winner, 3rd in the championship, Carl. Carl's got the toe. He's up in place here. Is he going to for inside lunge on Hobbsy? No, he's not. He'll wait his turn for now. But Hobbsy under pressure here, and in a lot of battles, has now got the AlphaTauri of Carl on his tail. The gaps are starting to get a little bit bigger now. It's been a very chaotic fight in those these 5 laps so far. Again, apologies for the late start tonight in qualifying. Welcome along to Colm Weekend League Tier 2, Season 7, round number 12 of 15 here in Abu Dhabi, the Yas Marina circuit. Again, as mentioned, one of only 4 rounds left now in this Season 7 Championship battle, and it is all to play for. We still don't know where the Championship will be won or lost. Okay, if someone's in the stream, let me know the stream is okay, sounding okay, looking okay, and that is a big help to me to do that. Get a quick drink, we'll watch Carl hunt down Hobbsy as Tobes continues to lead this race. Foul on the hard, we're doing a good job on the hard Farrell, knowing that his tyre in a few laps time will become the predominant one as his mediums start to die off a little bit. But no safety car as of yet. VSC on lap 1 due to a massive impact involving Tobes. Cole Paradox in the pits. Been a tough night for Cole Paradox so far. I mentioned a P3 last week in Australia, closing that gap massively from 20 plus points down to just 6 points on Liam, but Liam in the podium places here tonight. Cole Paradox not in the points. So as it stands, Carl will jump as Deroy makes a move on Captain Nick. Oh, and Captain Nick almost pushing Deroy around the corner there. Can Nick get past him again? But as it stands, it's looking like Liam will extend his lead at the top of the championship, and due to Carl's PA, he would actually jump Cole Paradox into second with 3 rounds to go. A quick look at the calendar so you're sort of familiar as to where we're up to. 3 races we've got tonight. We go to Imola next week, followed by Hungary, Budapest, and then we end the season with a Bahrain sprint race in Bahrain on the final night of the season, which could determine the championship. That could be incredible in this time in 3 weeks, but of course plenty of action, plenty of racing drama to come before then, here tonight in Italy and also in Hungary. The championship can't be won tonight, but Liam knows he could stamp his authority on it after a tough couple of races. We come into tonight with a 6-point lead to Cole Paradox, and also knowing that Carl was breathing down his neck as well. But Liam is still the firm favourite, and he'll know now that with Cole Paradox out of the points and with a penalty, he's in a good position here. Hobbs, he's not! And neither's anything. It's 2 for the price of 1 there. Buy 1, get 1 free. Hobbs, spins, and so does Ennis, and it's like it's an absolute gift for bunnies. He'll fly past Ennis, and surely will fly past Hobbsy as well here. Ennis on the Bunny's on the inside of Hobbsy, and he hops past him. Hops, a bunny, hops past him. No, there you go though. So Bunny's there from 12th to 10th. Ennis and Hobbsy, and Hobbs had such a good start to the race, was in 4th at one point. Now down barely in the points in P11. That's how quickly things can change here in this race. But of course 2 DNFs so far. A change for the P3 here. Deroy and Liam. Liam on the inside, Deroy round the outside. 2 trailer park girls go around the outside. Deroy went around the outside as well. And for now, Liam out of the podium places. And Captain Nick, of course, back in this mix as well. How good would it be to see Captain Nick on the podium? A driver that's really improved this season. Of course, P4 last week, 17 points scored in Australia. He was so close, yet so far to a podium. Again, he's in that battle again tonight. Tobes for now, not pulling out of DRS from Farrell, but leads the race. Tobes on the medium, Farrell on the hard. The rest of the top 10 all the way down to Ennis actually in 12th on the medium. So the hard tonight, you know, other than Farrell, not really being used towards the front at all. We'll see how that impacts Farrell later on in this race. But it's been an interesting 8 laps so far, that's for sure. Can Ennis get past Bunnies after the spin on the last lap? I think he can. So Bunnies, he got past them both earlier on due to their spin. Now loses up to both Hobbsy and Ennis once more. I'm going to get a quick drink and we'll keep on board with Captain Nick as he flies down the back straight behind Liam. Sorry, my mouth's very dry. We are back. Some more Tier 2 action here, Season 7. Round number 12 here in Abu Dhabi. 4 rounds to go, including tonight. And the championship is still well and truly up for grabs. And there's a move up for grabs there as well for Carl. Ho ho! We've seen some lovely moves there. Can Dan come back at him though? He'll give it a go, Dan. Last year's Tier 2 runner-up. Not necessarily out of the championship fight yet either. He's 4th in the championship at the moment. He's 40 points behind Liam, but knows a good result tonight could, you know, give him a late hope. He was so close down last year to winning the title and missed out agonisingly on the last race of the season to Nelu Safu. Could this year be his year? And he's got work to do, Dan, but it's not impossible, that's for sure. Carl nearly pushing Nick there. Carl knows, though, he's starting to close in on Liam. And this could be interesting in terms of the championship battle. I mean, if you call Paradox here, it's a nightmare because you're not in the points, and Liam and Carl are well and truly in the points. So he's the biggest loser so far, but there's still 20 laps to go. There's a lot that can change here in this Grand Prix. Anything can happen. And we've seen some lovely moves, haven't we, on that right-hander, sorry, the left-hander that Carl got DC on. Some lovely moves there, so far, some very brave moves, but experienced moves as well. For now, Tobe he seems to be keeping that sort of 5-6 tenths gap on Farrell. Again, you'd imagine that the mediums will start to die off in the next few laps, and Farrell's hard will feel a little bit better, but Farrell's doing a great job, considering he's on the medium tyre, of keeping ahead. Of keeping ahead of the pack behind him. We've got Nello in the chat, the current tier 2 champion. He'll take his title. That could have been very ugly between Carl and Nick. Carl getting past Nick though, and Carl now hunting down Liam. There's only the Roy separating the two of them. Both of these drivers getting moves. Carl on Nick, Liam on the Roy. Cole Paradox still out of the points at the moment. But this midfield battle at the moment is looking very, very tasty indeed. I mean, suppose it's the battle for the final podium place at the moment. Tobes and Farrell are in a league of their own here, and there's a good 5 or 6 drivers behind them that are in a great battle. But as mentioned, Tobes on the mediums, Farrell on the hards. Then it's Liam, the roll. Oh, and Captain Nick, no! Heartbreak for Captain Nick, a huge spin. He's spinning around, get out of his way. I know he's feeling it, he doesn't like it like this. And Captain Nick has spun, and I think Hobbsy will get a move on him come the straight. And Captain Nick well in the mixture podium, as mentioned, so close to a podium last time out in Melbourne. Has a spin, and that will cost him dearly. It'll give Liam and Carl less competition to fight. And what I want to see is here, I want to see Carl get past the Roy, and I want to see Liam v Carl first versus third in the championship. Both of these drivers, two of the favourites for the title here. The Mercedes and the Alfa Tauri, but the Roy in this mix as well. McConey and DC going at it as well there behind. But that corner there is giving us plenty of drama and plenty of fantastic battles as Carl gets past the Roy, and now the man in front of him is his championship leader. We've got third place Liam, a spin ahead, and it's told off the track. The race leader, should I say he was the race leader, spins the car round, and he's gone from first all the way down to 7th. And the race leader now down. Captain Nick's gone again. It's been a nightmare lap for him. Things are changing very quickly, but as it stands, both Liam and Carl now find themselves in the podium places. A much better line for Liam though than it is for Carl, and that'll invite the Roy, who's also well and truly in this battle. But a big moment there for Tobe, from first down to 7th in one spin. Captain Nick now in the pits, not even in the points anymore. Things can change so quickly, but Liam at the moment looks to have the pace on Carl, but Carl has DRS here and can get right on the back of his championship rival. Carl, a winner in Singapore, a winner last week in Australia. His form has spring-headed him right into this championship mix. He sits third in the championship. Liam first, Cole Paradox sandwiched in between them both. Can Carl get what could be a huge championship move on Liam? Liam on the inside, Carl going round the outside. Will Liam get ahead of him still? I think he will for now. They're almost wheel to wheel, they are wheel to wheel, they're almost pushing each other around the track. Possibly a little bit of contact there, but Carl has got the move, and what a big move that is. What a fantastic move that is on Liam, who's lost the car. That could give the Roy a place. I think it will. It's a costly error from Liam, who does for now rekindle it and keep ahead of Dorman goes off the track. It's a massive mistake from Liam. There's a spin behind. DC's gone as well, but Liam has gone from 2nd to 4th. He is gifted the Roy that place. DC has spun. He's down to 7th. Tobes is in the pits. It's all going off in Abu Dhabi. What a race this is turning out to be. And Carl is a man on a mission here, not just tonight, but he wants this championship. And as it stands, a mistake from Liam has gifted the Roy a place. Liam's now out of the podium place as he cannot afford a slip up tonight. Cole Parrott's getting himself back into the points, but he's got work to do tonight, Cole Parrott. But as it stands, Carl is the real winner here. He will go ahead of Cole Paradox and gain further on Liam with 3 rounds to go. Of course, still a long way to go in this race. But Carl now will try and hunt down Farrell. He's still on them hard and doing a great job on them, and due to the spin from Tobes, a little bit of free track from Farrell, but this has been superb, this from Carl. That part of the track there, he loves it. It's been superb. What a race so far. I'm going to get a quick drink. I will leave you on board these two, Bunnings and Cole Paradox, who could not afford another slip up. Cole Paradox, second in the championship. Contact between the two of them there. And Cole Paradox needs to fight himself back into the points. Hards v mediums, McLaren versus Mercedes. And that corner is giving us some fantastic action, isn't it? And I think for now, Cole Paradox stayed ahead of him, which is big, into ninth. Carl in the pits, the medium runners are pitting here, or a few of them are anyway. Carl and McConey in. The Roy and Liam say out, that could be interesting. DC pitting as well, so a lot of the medium runners deciding that enough is enough here and getting into their hard tyres. Carl, McConey and DC coming for a lap 13 pit stop. Whew! Try and catch my breath. I'm struggling here a little bit tonight, but I'm doing my best. As you can see, still a long way to go in this race, and here we go then again. Liam v the Roy. Liam gifted the Roy the place on lap 12, didn't he, with that mistake? But he's got the place back now. It's a big place in this championship battle. Liam ahead of the Roy into P2, and we get a quick drink, and then we'll crack on. Looks like Bunny's going to come out on the track right in the thick of it here with Clerpiar and Nick. He is. The battle for the final points place, and Captain Nick, who was once in this podium battle a few laps ago, now fighting for a final points place. That's how quick things can change, and Bunny's coming out of the pits there on the fresh hard, right in the thick of it with Clerpiar and Captain Nick. Bunny's on the hards, Clerpiar on the old mediums, Nick on the relatively fresh mediums after a couple of mistakes earlier on, and Clerpiar will fly past Bunny's there, and Nick possibly making a little bit of contact with the Mercedes there. This could be a lovely little battle to keep an eye out on. And Clerpiar could be in trouble for not one but two drivers here. They both got DRS, and Clerpiar could lose 2 places here. He could seriously lose 2 places here, and they're going to be 3 wide. Oh my god! Aston Martin, Mercedes, and Haas. Look at that, 3 wide. What a battle! What a piece of racing that was. And that's for the final points place. That was incredible. Haas, Aston Martin, and Mercedes, don't eat dog in my town. Get up or stay down. And none of these boys stayed down, they all fought for it. And this isn't a playground, but I tell you what, it was there for these 3. Nick, Clerpiar and Bunnings, that was well, wow, what a battle. What a battle. Free fall coming into the pits. Where is he? Oh, he's down there, he's gone. He took off his thing, he's gone, Scott. He said see you later. So for now, quick update on the race. Farrell still on the hard, started on the hard to lead the way. Liam and obviously still on the mediums, yet to pit. Carl McConaughey and DeRoy all pitted a little bit earlier on. So I just wonder how much is the benefit, Liam. I mean, obviously not as much as he's quite far behind. But in terms of Liam, you know, in the past, Liam's done strategy like this, but he's held out for longer. Sometimes it's worked, sometimes it hasn't. And will he pit this lap or will he stick? He's continuing to stay on the medium tyre. I just, again, look, Liam's the championship leader. He knows a heck of a lot more than I do. But I do fear for him in that regard, knowing that the rest of his contenders around him have pitted for the hard tyre. Carl McConaughey, DeRoy, etc. Cole Parrott has put himself back up to, but of course, the penalty and also to hold hard, so he's going to have to pit again. McConaughey setting fast laps, and the hard tyres clearly are the ones now, and I just do fear a little bit for Liam. I mean, on the flip side, he's got clear track, he can get his head down, you know, he's not in any sort of battles at the moment. But then mediums will start to really, and you can see them, they're going to start to really deteriorate now, and surely he's not going to push for a medium soft. I mean, that's not going to happen. Can't happen. Is he anticipating a safety car? I'm not too sure, but 2 DNFs so far in a lap 1 incident involving Jet. It was realistically, it probably should have been a safety car for Jet. or for Jet's DNF, should I say. As the Roy gets past Kel Parrott's 1 lap old hard, his 14 lap old hard, there's not really much competition there, is there? And Roy flying back up into P7. And a little while, it was up 9 come the end of lap 1, but by the end of lap 2 he was in the pits and retired, and it was a very much a contrast of emotions for a little one. As Carl and there was contact there, I think. Oh, there's a Carl McConey's gone as well, and that's a big loss for McConey. He's one of the fresh hard runners, and all that work that he's done, the early pit stop to try and get back into the race, is now going to cost him. And McConey, I didn't mention, was sort of 3-4 weeks ago, and this man was the firm championship favourite. He's now down. I think it was 7th in the championship now, and a man that's sort of lost all that confidence, and it's a real shame. And McConey there, spinning around, obviously pitting, his medium stint is done, but Liam continues to stay out on them hard, knowing that Carl's only 12 seconds behind him, and that gap is getting smaller and smaller. I mean, surely Liam now has to think about a pit stop here, because I do feel like, and again, look, he's the championship leader. He's not that on merit, you know. He's a leader for a reason. But I just wonder how much damage this is doing him. In 13 laps time, I may sit here and look a bit of an idiot at me and be wrong in what I'm saying. I'd love to get the thoughts of Ted Crowley's in chat. I know he's here somewhere. Ted Soper on what he thinks about this. But yeah, again, look, he knows more than me, Liam. He's a tier 2 championship leader for a reason. He's a championship favourite, but that gap to Carl is decreasing rapidly, and it'll be doing the same for the Roy as well. It would have been doing the same for McCown if he didn't have that spin. Surely Liam pits this time. He doesn't pit, Liam. Let's compare it. He's 11.2 seconds the gap to Carl at the start of the lap. Let's see how that changes come the end of lap 17, so you can already see it's down to 10.6. Carl is rapidly gaining on Liam here. I mean, my only thought process here is he's one, waiting for a safety car, which is a massive gamble, or two, he's going to try and somehow do a hard soft, but for one, that's not doable, I don't think, and for two, if that was doable, by the time he gets onto the softs, he'll have lost that much time on the mediums. It just simply wouldn't be worth it. I'm not saying Liam's setting slow pace here on these sides, by the way. Carl's got a pit as well, but he's in a great spot file, knowing that he's 10.5 seconds ahead of Liam, and he's due to go on the mediums. I mean, it's Fowler's race to lose at the moment, but Liam, I just feel like doing himself more and more damage as this race progresses here. Knowing that Carl is rapidly gaining on him, not just in the race, but in the championship as well. So Carl's got himself back up to 6, but also off the pit again himself yet. So Carl at the moment, I'd say out of the 3 championship contenders, looking the most likely here to get a better result. Things can change quickly. Farrell's pitting face set of mediums. Here we go then. Surely in pits now. No, he doesn't. I mean, it'll take net race lead for now, won't it, with Farrell pitting. But then mediums, I mean, look at the gap now. The gap's on 7 seconds. You know, it was 11. It's gone down 4 seconds, that gap. You know, Carl is rapidly gaining on Liam here. I think Carl will actually get ahead of Farrell. He will. Will I get ahead of Farrell? No, he won't. So Carl will get ahead of Farrell for now. Liam stays there, but now on 17 lap old mediums. I mean, look at the gap. The gap to Carl between Liam and Carl was 11 seconds at the start. You know, Liam is just killing his race here, and I can't for the life of me understand it. Again, he's a tier 2 championship leader. He knows a hell of a lot more about the game than I do. And unless I'm being thick, maybe I'm missing something, but to me, it just looks like lap by lap, corner by corner, he's just putting more and more nails in his coffin here, and potentially in his championship coffin as well, because as it stands, Carl's gonna gain massive points on Liam tonight, maybe even, and we'll see how it is at the end of lap 29, but maybe even getting the championship lead here, Carl. I mean, Paul Barrett's not in the mix tonight, is he? You wouldn't have thought. Maybe on for a couple of points, but Barrett, a huge change of drama. You know, he's not in the mix. But the gap in the championship between Liam and Carl is only 18 points, and that's nothing. That's nothing. Liam's got to pit. He's slow. He's so slow, and he's pitting now. But Carl's got past him. Liam's not even got into the pits. He's missed the pit entry. Whoa! Oh my word! And he's lost out places to Carl and Farrell. What a huge mistake from the Tier 2 Championship leaders. Yeah, look at his tyres, they're gone. And we said it for the last few laps, but he can hardly drive on them. And he's dropping. I mean, has he got a puncture? There's no visible puncture, but look, Carl and Farrell have gone. And he's missed the pit entry. He's got to do another lap. And look at him, he can barely drive the car. I mean, they're all going to fly past him as well. And Liam here is gonna. I mean, he's going to cost himself. I know he's not going to cost the championship tonight, but he's throwing away vital points here. He can barely turn the corner. He can't stay on the track. I mean, that's a corner cut. He can't do that. He can't do that. It's a blatant corner cut. But there's no visible puncture, but he's driving like he's got one. In the space of one lap, he's now down to 50. So he's going to get past him before he pits. And Liam here has shot himself in the foot massively. And I don't want to say threw his title chances away, because that's not fair. He's the championship leader. But he's given Carl, and possibly even Cole Paradox, a huge incentive here. He can barely drive. He's not even pitted yet. Here comes Cole Paradox. He's going to get past Liam. Here comes McConey. Liam's down into 8th, and he's not even pitted yet. Now, hopefully, for his sake, I mean, look at that. Cole Paradox just pitted before him. He's now ahead of him. He can't even get in the pits. He's done it again. What's going on? Is he drunk? What is going on? He's missed the pit entry again. Oh, my word. Have you ever seen a crumble like it? It's Man City Madrid stuff, this. Bernabeu last season. It crumbled. Completely crumbled. I mean, he's at risk here, Liam, of not even scoring points. And all of a sudden, we said Cole Paradox at the moment, he's only in the points by 1. But he'll jump Liam. Carl, I mean, on for a potential race winning, and here comes Farrell to get the race lead, 2 lap hold mediums, 37 lap hold parts. We've seen Carl battle here throughout this race. Carl on the inside, can he hold off Farrell for now? He can. Carl's been excellent so far tonight, as has Farrell. Leads through miles ahead of the competition. And at the moment, the 2 favourites for the win. But Carl, you'd say at the moment here, even if he doesn't win this race, if he can bring home a P2, knowing the difficulties that both Liam and Cole Paradox are having tonight, Carl will go into next week's race in Italy with only 3 rounds to go. As the championship leader, he's just dropped out to Bunny. His teammates got past him. And it's becoming a painful watch now, I must admit. It's becoming a real tough watch, this, and I don't get what's going on. He's missed the pit entry twice in a row. He's gone from being 1st in the race to 10th. In 1 lap. Captain Nick, I think, had a moment. Or is it... it's McConey's had a moment. He's spun. But Liam, 3rd time looking to get... He's got to get into the pits here. He's got to get into the pits. He can't miss the pits again, surely to God. He's in the pits now, but how much damage has he done? I mean, he's going to be well out of the points here, because Cole Paradox and Dennis, and possibly Claire Piat will get past him. Oh, more drama! More drama! Another twist in the tail! This incredible championship battle has hit another dilemma. Carl, who's leading this race, has picked up a penalty, which for now would only drop him behind Farrell into 2nd. But if the Roy can close that gap, that could cost Carl a couple of places, a couple of really costly places come the end of this race. Liam comes out on the softs, but down in 14th, well out of the points, miles behind the points. He's got a job to now, Liam, to even score any points. But good battle there between Forster and Gilsheen for the final position in 17th. Carl for now leads on Farrell, but that penalty has meant that Farrell is the pure favourite here. Them mediums will feel lovely at the end of this race now as we close in on the last few laps here. But going into Imola next week for round 13, this championship has took another twist, another huge twist. And a twist that, despite that penalty for Carl, is going to suit him down to the ground. He will comfortably leapfrog Cole Paradox as it stands. And, well, at the moment, will comfortably leapfrog Liam. He'll go from third to first in the championship, Carl. He'll go into it next week, despite his penalties, as championship leader. As it stands, it'll be Carl from Liam, from Cole Paradox. Carl will try and defend it, but I think he's a sitting duck, and Farrell will get that P1 back here. Unless Liam can try and make a lunge into the corner. Carl, sorry, will make a lunge into the corner. He won't want to give it up, Carl, here. But I think this time Farrell's got the job done. Oh, hardly Liam going to give it all he's got. But Farrell, on the mediums, gets there, and you feel Farrell now, if he can pull away, will win this race pretty comfortably now. Especially due to Liam's penalty, to Carl's penalty. A perfect strategy on the hard medium from Farrell. A pole sitter tonight. It's been a textbook race from Farrell so far, and there's still time for plenty more drama, but as it stands, I mean, Liam, who may get clear PI, he's setting there. Oh, we are flagging that Carl! It is Carl! He's off the track! He's going to lose his P2, and there's another twist! Nobody wants to win this title! They're all throwing it away! Carl going to try and come back at the Roy, but Carl loses that place, and how costly could that be? He's just throwing away some vital points! Oh my god! It's a gift for the Roy. It's a huge mistake from Carl. Farrell's into the sunset. He's gone. But even if Carl can't, I mean, listen, Carl gets P3. He's still leading the championship. But as Tober said in the chat, this race is mad. And none of these boys want to win this championship. Liam is going to get a move on clear PR. But that's still not going to put him in the points for now. He's still out of the points here, Liam. He needs to get a top 12. So as it stands, he's still leading Abu Dhabi with nothing, and that is so costly and puts a huge in his championship battle. He has set the fast lap for 127 dead, so he's going to gain ground, but is it going to be enough? Carl has got past the Roy again. Say, he loves that corner, Carl, doesn't he? He loves it. But of course, Carl has got a penalty. Hobbsy all of a sudden, comfortably in P4. Under the radar tonight, Hobbsy. He made a couple of mistakes as well early on, but as it stands, Hobbsy on for a P4 and a mistake in front could possibly give him a podium, especially with the Roy and Carl fighting. But this race is a foul to lose here. 8-second lead, he just lapped his teammate as well. A perfect strategy, and with 6 laps to go, he knows he can pretty much nurse this home. There's absolutely no panic whatsoever as it stands. But whether Carl finishes second or third, he will still lead the championship come the end of this race as it stands. But as Toby just said in the chat, all 3 title chasers have made big mistakes in this race, and I completely agree. Cole Paradox, Liam and Carl have all made errors off their own back in this Grand Prix. And that's how costly it can be. It's fine margins in a race, it's fine margins in a championship battle. There's not much coming into tonight separating the 3 of them. And as Toby's just said, 3 mistakes from 3 drivers. And it could potentially cost him. Yellow flag, I think it's Liam. It is Liam. He spun the car! And Liam now, you'd imagine his chances of points tonight, he's in the pits again, and his chances of picking up any points tonight look to be over. And that is huge for this championship. Cole Paradox, even now a P9 will do the job. It would leapfrog Liam. Liam could go from being the championship leader tonight, going into Miller next week. He's retired in the pits. Liam will not score points. That is a huge moment in this Tier 2 championship. Liam will go to Imola next week. He will come into tonight's Grand Prix as the championship leader, despite only scoring 2 points in Melbourne in a real difficult race last week. Knowing that a win for Carl and a podium for Cole Paradox closed that gap, and Liam has left Abu Dhabi and has scored zilch. No championship points for Liam, and as it stands, Carl's on for a podium, Cole Paradox on for a top 10. As it stands, it'd be Carl from Cole Paradox from Liam. Liam would go from first all the way down to third in the championship ahead of Imola next week. There's 3 rounds to go. Imola, Hungary and the Bahrain sprint. There's not one to go. 3 races is nothing. Of course, still plenty of points up for grabs, plenty of drama still to come in this race and in them 3 races as well. No doubt there'll be more twists to the tail come them races, but you feel now The ball is well and truly in Carl's court, not just tonight for a podium, but he now looks to be the championship favourite. You'd imagine. I mean, a P9 for Cole Parrots, if he can fend off freefall, would be a decent result. It's points that would get him ahead of Liam into second. But Cole Parrots' problem here is that Carl's going to get third. He would leapfrog them both. Yellow flag on track looks to be 4-star. I think it is 4-star. It is. But for the man to watch here is Farrell. I mean, he's not in the championship battle, but he's made this race his own tonight. He's got 4 laps to go, and he's been quite exquisite, Farrell, tonight. Pole position and a quite dominant performance. Look, Liam, what happened, mate? I mean, look, by no means is your championship over. But, mate, you've got work to do in Imola next week. You're going to have to win that race in Imola, mate. Big pressure on your shoulders going into Italy next week. Imola, Hungary and Bahrain are the remaining races. He missed the pit entry twice. He did have a puncture. So Liam did have a puncture. Now, on my screen, it wasn't a visible puncture. But that explains it. Pushed the mediums too far and did get a puncture, Liam. And, of course, as luck, he's now in 17th, not getting points. So, Liam, it's great to hear from you in the chat, mate, of commiserations for tonight. A real frustrating night for you. At one point, looked like you gained points on both Carl and Cole Parrots, of course, leading this race at one point as well. But Liam, as it stands, and of course things can change in this race, yeah, but as it stands, you will go to Imola next week, third in the championship. By no means out of the battle, by the way. But with work to do, that's for sure. A little word on DC, mentioning he was 40 points behind Liam coming into tonight, fourth in the championship, not mathematically out of the race. P7 means he closed the gap on Liam, but you feel like it's going to be too much to ask now for Dan in terms of the championship battle. But no things to cast about tonight. It was a lap 1 VSC. Wow, it's been an incredible race, and I feel like a real pivotal race. A race we could look back on in this championship and say, you know what, that's where things changed. But, you know, I'm sure we'll go to Imola next week, and I'm sure there will have more drama and things will change again. Of course, as mentioned, 3 rounds to go in this championship. We go to Imola next week, followed by Hungary, then followed by a race end in season end in Bahrain, a sprint race in Bahrain, where the championship will be won or lost. You'd imagine on that night, if not before. But a real sort of pivotal moment tonight, shall we say, with the incidents that Liam has had. Cole Parrots not had a good night either, and even Carl, you know, I feel like he's made a couple of mistakes, and that penalty, that little spin as it stands, will cost him a P2. Now, a P3 for Carl will still be a real good result. It'll be a result that puts him top of the championship. Liam's championship battle's incredible. Carl especially worries me. But Liam got to pick himself up there now. Go again. There's still 3 rounds to go. Still, you know, plenty of points up for grabs. Things can and no doubt will change over the next 3 races. But what I will say is that Carl, Cole Paradox and Liam, as it stands anyway tonight, we'll go into next week, all of them still in the championship battle. And could it be a redemption night for Liam next week in Imola? You know, can he go there and win? And if he goes there and wins, how big could that be? We had a brilliant championship battle last season. A similar sort of story last season, wasn't it? For people that remember, it was a 3-horse race between DC, Nelu Safu, and I forgot who the driver was. What was his name? Let me check. I've got it here somewhere. Apologies. Cal Cohen, wasn't it? That was it, Cal Cohen. DC, Nelu and Cal Cohen had a very similar sort of situation last season. They sort of swapped places and they were in the mix come last 3 races of the season. It went to Nelu Safu in the end. What we do know for sure is, and what's looking increasingly like for now, is it'll be one of Carl, Cole Paradox or Liam who win this title. Just a little bit too much, I think, for DC to do. However, he's on course for a P6 here, Dan. Which would sort of mathematically keep him in the running. McConey on for a P5 would probably mathematically keep him in the running as well, but realistically looking at a 3-horse race now between that man and Liam for the title. But another swing to this title race, but one more down with Foul Fury. What a performance from this man tonight. Pole position, and he has been superb. He went for the hard strategy, not many around him did, and realistically he's been in a league of his own tonight. We've seen a lot of races this season where drivers have dominated, and this is the case once more. Foul Fury tonight has been exquisite in his performance, not just in qualifying but in the race itself. He'll fly down the back straight for the final time, like 29 of 29 here in the Alpine, and the result of the season so far for him, a result that will certainly springboard his season. He is, to be fair, looking at the championship, he was 10th in the championship coming into tonight. He will jump De Roy, just despite De Roy being in second. He's still battling with Carl. But a real good performance from Farrell. A fully deserved win, as long as he can nurse the car home here as well. We'll try and keep a close eye on these two. We're still going out here despite Carl's penalty. But Farrell Fury, what a race from him tonight. These two are still battling it out wheel to wheel. I mean, De Roy doesn't need to beat Carl, he can just stay behind him and win despite the penalty. But then on board with the Alpine, the Irishman, REL_ Farrell. He'll round the penultimate and round the final corner, lap 29 and 29, the fireworks at the Yas Marina circuit are a goal, because REL Farrell is the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix winner here. Carl crosses the line ahead of De Roy, but will lose out to De Roy. Back-to-back podiums for De Roy, a real good couple of weeks for the Williams driver. A podium once more. It was a win in Melbourne, not quite a win tonight for Carl, but a podium means that before stewarding, will springboard him from third to top. Carl is now your championship leader with just 3 rounds to go. Imola next week, a real good night for Hobbsy. P4 from him, McConey 5th, DC6, Tobes, didn't even mention Tobes. Of course, he was leading for quite a lot of this race towards the start. Second in qualifying, only a P7 in the end for Tobes. Bunny's in 8th, Cole Paradox does secure a few points in P9, he will take that. It's points that potentially will lift him ahead of Liam into second in the championship. Captain Nick, what could have been tonight, floating in and around the podium places at the start of this race, but only a P10 again. Scott, once again doing his job, not mentioning too much tonight, but getting a few points again, doing his job. Knowsley is the final points finisher. No points for Ennis, Clerc PR 4-star, and of course Gio Sheedy, who was lapped earlier on. DNS, of course, for Liam Little, one of that lap 1 DNS for Jet. Of course, this is before stewarding things can potentially change in terms of race results. But that was an absolute pleasure. 1 VSC on lap 1, no safety car tonight. But I loved every moment of it. That was 29 laps of real entertainment. And thank you so much once more on the stream for joining me. 3 rounds to go. Imola, Hungary and Bahrain. 3 races to go in this crazy Tier 2 season. Will it be Liam? Will it be Carl? Will it be Cole Paradox? Join us next week in Hungary. Sorry, not in Hungary, in Imola. The next chapter of this story continues there, but tonight it's all about that one. It's all about Alpine and it's all about Farrell. Will we see the griddy? Oh my god, that was tragic, absolutely tragic. But there he goes, a fully deserved win for Farrell, a real dominant display. It would have been interesting if Toby didn't spin, and of course if Liam didn't have them issues as well, where that would have led in this race, but no one can argue that Farrell did not deserve to win that race tonight. It was a real good performance from him, and well done as well to both De Roy and Carl on getting podium finishes. Carl from 11th to 3rd, I mean, he will take that. A little bit frustrating on his part to get a penalty, I'm sure, but wow, he will now go into Imola as the leader before stewarding. Hobbsy again, really good result from 4th. McConey, Dan, Tobes, Bunnies, Cole Paradox, Nick. 3, 4 and Knowsley complete your points finishes. Then comes Ennis, Clerc PR, Forster and Gio Sheen, all finishing the race but sadly not scoring points tonight. Liam Little one, and I would have loved to have seen Jet tonight. I think he'd have been right in the mix as well, qualified in a real good P5 position. I think he'd have been in that mix as well. Sadly did not last very long in this race due to that lap 1 incident. And that concludes Tier 2 round number 12 here in Abu Dhabi. As mentioned countless times tonight, there's 3 rounds to go now in this championship season. Well done to Farrell, that was a dominant display from him. And a 43-minute race, quite short in the end because we had no safety cars as well. But it certainly leaves this championship with wide open, shall we say, with 3 rounds to go. I will message these boys asking if they want a quick interview before we leave it there. But that was a real pleasure watching that race tonight. That was fantastic entertainment. I'll just continue on interview very quickly, and then we'll take it from there. But I'm looking forward to Imola now. It's going to really spice things up that tonight. What happened tonight in Imola next week? And Imola's a tough circuit. We all know it. Fine margins in Imola. Not an easy circuit for overtakes either. And it's Hungary, similar sort of circuit. Hungary, not easy for overtakes. Can be a frustrating track if you're stuck in a train. And then we go to Bahrain, and it's a sprint format. That could be, wow, my voice could be gone. Of course, if the championship's not won by them, which at the moment, I can't see that being the case. I think the way it's going at the moment, I think it could go down to the wire. We saw it go down to the wire last season, didn't we? In Tier 2. And I do genuinely believe that could be the case again. But of course, in Imola next week, no doubt there'll be more twists and turns. And we take it from there, don't we? One race at a time. But Abu Dhabi, that was an absolute pleasure tonight. That was a real good showcase for this team, what this team is all about and what it can do, because the drivers put together a real stonking race there. From what I saw as well, by a couple of minor incidents, a real clean race at that as well. I put a message in the chat asking if any of the boys want an interview. We did that 2 minutes ago and not had a reply, so we will leave it there. Make sure you go and head on over to Tier 1. They've just started their race as well, so if you want to watch the best of the best in this Cone Racing League division, then go over and watch Tier 1. Failing that, Tiers 3 and 4 will race on Monday, and then you will see me again once more next Thursday night for round number 13 of the season. We travel to Imola. 3 rounds to go, and it is still all to play for. Will it be Liam? Will it be Carl? Will it be Cole Paradox? Join us next week in Imola as this championship battle intensifies. It is your boy Hedgehog 11. Have a fantastic weekend. Stay safe. All the best, and I'll see you soon.